Okay, welcome. It's been a long time since my last one. Yeah, it's been a very busy few weeks, but I'm back, and today I'm going to show you how I built Aongus Brostin, the regiment's favourite flame trooper. I'll be using parts from the Canadian Trooper box from Games Workshop, and then some parts from Anvil Industries, in particular their militia arms and a long hair head. For some of the bigger characters, more notable characters, I decided to put them on a slightly larger base. In terms of stature, I think this gives the illusion of size. Something I'm trying to achieve with the ghosts is that element of individual characters. This is the tricky part, I think, having to splice some fingers to fit a cigar. You have to be careful when working with this resin in particular because it's quite brittle. I have already accidentally snapped a few fingers off of my other projects working on the ghosts. So a way that I'd kind of found to get around that was to submerge it in hot water for a time, just to make it more supple. Another new thing for this video and for me is sculpting hair, green stuff hair. I really wanted to give Brostin this kind of shaggy bear-like look. For this particular one it was a bald head with a bandana and a beard from the long hair heads, Anvil Industries. He was shouting, which I thought would be kind of perfect for the smoking pose. And I start by using a disc of green stuff and attach it to the head, and then go about slowly sculpting kind of a windswept, all the hair backwards. I predominantly use my hobby knife for this to try and get the texture of the hair. So at this point, I start to model the other arm. I have to cut the bicep off at the hem of the shirt and rotate it a little, just to come in line with the face. So when I place the cigar in there, it kind of lines up with the mouth. I then have to fill the gaps on the bicep with some green stuff because it doesn't quite fit perfectly. So for the cigar, I decided to use a cocktail stick. I fold the pinky and the ring finger round into like a fist, and then I just dab some super glue and place it in between. And then super glue the hand, stick it in place. I have measured the head before, so I know it kind of fits roughly in line. And something I decided to do with Brostin in particular, because he's described as being quite a large fella, I wanted to add some bulk to his body. Since I was putting him on the larger base too, I wanted to fill that out some. So I put some like webbing around his belly and his trousers. And now finally for another cloak. This is similar to my other methods of making cloaks in my previous videos. I am refining this technique with each ghost. These ones were in a batch together. Sort of Brostin and then the next two, Kafran and his loader, kind of mark the end of the first batch for me. At which point I'll then move on to the next one. I'd like to experiment with other sculpting materials, milliput maybe. But for now I'm going to stick with this green stuff. So it's been quite a long time since my last upload. I managed to keep a pretty regular upload schedule before. That was at the tail end of the last lockdown over here. But just to touch back on the start of the project before we move on, the goal was to kind of follow the books and try to create the ghosts as close as possible. I think I'm still on that path. Of course it's grown and expanded and evolved as time has gone by. I picked up the audiobooks for the first like 4 novels, and also the last 2. I decided I would listen to them whilst I was modelling. It's actually kind of good inspiration really to listen to the stories whilst you're creating them. So the idea was to work from book to book, picking some main characters and kind of picking a theme and going with it. So we started with First and Only, and then we went to Ghostmaker. This marks the end of Ghostmaker, this video. There are some characters that are of course in Ghostmaker that I haven't painted or created. They are on the list and they will get made. They'll be on my Instagram. I'm not sure if they'll have a video dedicated to them, unless the conversions are particularly interesting. I didn't make a video, but I really enjoyed making Shoggy Domor. He's probably my favourite. If you want to check him out, you can go over to my Instagram, which is on my info page on YouTube. The next thing is to move on to Necropolis and start to fill out that project with characters that we all know and love. There'll be videos that come in between them, to keep things interesting. If you want to stay up to date with the project, if you don't see the videos, you can always go over to my Instagram. I have most of the photos there. I appreciate you all coming by and watching. I hope you're enjoying the Ghosts project. Feel free to leave a comment, to have a talk about any of the characters or the books. Since we've got the announcement for the new Ghost models, I managed to pre-order a box on opening day. It took some time to get on the web store, but we did it. And hopefully when the new novel comes out too, we can read it and maybe talk about it on a video, since from my understanding it's set somewhere early in the saga. I think like really early, after First and Only or Ghostmaker. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.